Welcome to the bold analysis, ladies and gentlemen. I have been asked this question and many people are asking me to give my opinion over the matter, and I'd kept really mum about it. This is Malala trouble. I think I was the first analyst that raised the questions about Malala's tenure as UDA SJ. And when I did that analysis, I mentioned about how he was sent to meet the UDA MCS in Muranga, but they defied him, and he could not even address journalists after that meeting. And I raised questions about the wave, the trend where the UDA activities were turning very violent. Now, Gladys Sholei, the deputy speaker, in the National Assembly, raised a question, and it has really pointed out what exactly is coming in, and he clearly, squarely blamed Cleophas Malala, or questions the competency of Cleophas Malala.
It's not common sense at all. That's why I'm hoping that he's been misquoted. Also, in any case, our experience now, and I'm talking again as my personal opinion as a UDA member, I'm personally disappointed with the performance of Cleo Malala. Cleo Malala has been, he has been going on this, what are they called? The UDA membership drives. And they've all been, many of them have been violent. And I was looking the other day, I asked some of the UDA members, I said, we started this party, recruited people in a record under a year, and at that time, there was not a single UDA meeting that was violent. The other day, he's in Marsabit, there is violence. He went to Isiolo, there was violence. He went to Mombasa, there was violence. So I think, and I'm going to talk to other UDA members and say, as UDA, we should begin to ask ourselves, is this guy trying to destroy our party? Yes, because UDA has never been known to be violent. That is something that belongs to ODM. ODM is the one that is normally violent. the UDA has never been violent. Yes, it's true. Yes,
ODM
that's a
is
fact.
Not here to actually defend
themselves. But
yes, so
this in the newspapers. You can go to your archives and you'll find the violence in their meetings. This is the first time I'm seeing that UDA is actually having violent meetings. So I think there is something wrong.
Many people were asking me about my position on the sound, or rather what Gladys Sholei said. But there are two people that have been speaking on behalf of President Ruto. That is Oscar Sudi and Samson Cherargei. Oscar Sudi reacted to that video in this post saying, UDA party is a democratic party, but we don't operate like ODM and Azimio Moja. We don't subscribe to the idea of discussing our internal affairs in the public or media. We have our own party structures that deals with such issues in-house when they emerge. That is why we have one parliamentary group meeting every month. This is a no. In taking a clear swipe at Gladys boss Sholei for this. Now, we can perceive that perhaps Sholei was giving his personal opinion over the matter, which is also fairly allowed. But as someone within the party structures, there is something that it clearly shows how maybe he's not inside the circle. The same structures that are there, if Sholei, and according to what others feel, that if Sholei was raising those questions legitimately, then it is a clear sign that maybe she was sidelined or she's not part of the decision making now. But as that discussion was going on, Ruto elevated Malala to attend cabinet meetings in a move that also involved other nominees, including David Ndii, Malala, David Ndii, and Violet Shawai. I think I've not gotten the name right. And Monica Juma, the other name I think I've missed. For them, they were approved to join and be attending cabinet meetings. So there is that which many were asking, Kevin. It is really true that Malala does not fit the bill. But what is the reason why why Ruto is sticking with Malala, come what come may? We've seen a reinforcement done because Rigathi Gachagua has also lately been dispatched in UDA offices and has been holding press briefings there in support of Malala. By the time that he's a bit embattled, and you know, me, I've followed the Kenyan politics for some time. A lot of things are done for optics, but not really the intention. The owner of UDA party is William Ruto, and Malala is his employee. He was given a docket cabinet to that portfolio. That's a docket that was also given to Tuju. So Tuju was a cabinet secretary without portfolio and the secretary general of Jubilee Party. But somewhere in the middle, he sublimed and he's no longer in the picture. He was no longer in the picture. What exactly is this position, and why is it only a coincidence that this cabinet without portfolio is normally have some attachment to political roles? I am just making an assumption here. This will be a conduit of using state machinery to run politics. If the Secretary General of the ruling party is a cabinet secretary without portfolio, I may need to ask, does he earn salary twice as SG of the party and as the cabinet secretary? The answer is no. But as under that docket, do we have allocations? Every ministry have allocations. Do we have allocations? Maybe no, maybe yes. But most probably it could be funded from the State House coffers. So that is one thing that no one seems to pay attention to. No one wants to talk about. But I take it as a conduit because what is the essence? What is the essence of creating a ministry? And even Uhuru had it. A ministry, a cabinet secretary, cabinet slot without portfolio. It simply doesn't add up, even though it can be seen as trying to reward your political friends. Now, there are two main reasons why Malala is immovable. Even though questions are raised about his competence, there have been violence in UDA registration drives. And probably, I was looking at it that maybe he's just lost the control. No, he doesn't have the grip. He's a low-profile person. There is that party, the UDA party has its founder members and ranking members. He's actually not even a founder member, he's not a ranking member. He's just a new member. So there are those who don't see him as someone who should actually dictate or actually give them directions. And it is most likely that people are not comfortable with his role as ANC, as UDA. And how he crossed over from ANC to UDA is something that is yet to be explained. Two reasons. Number one, Malala is a bait to woo the Mulembe Nation and to make sure that the party, the regional ownership of the party, the deputy president and the president are coming from the Rift Valley and Central. So they wanted that the other, but I've realized even the chairperson of the party comes from Central, that is Cecil Mbarire. But I also realized the truth is that Malala is coming from the Mulembe side and is being seen as a person that is supposed to represent the Mulembe Nation in the whole context. That probably be informed by the fact that he had to be taken from ANC. Now, Ruto's side might have made a very serious projection and realized that the only way to try to reduce the influence of Musalia Mudavadi in Western was to snatch Cleophas Malala. That would work in the interest of managing, of making sure that Musalia Mudavadi is fully under William Ruto. Secondly, I think Ruto and Musalia could have hatched a plan to ring-fence the UDA from Rigath's transition schemes. In 2027, there is a transition that is going to happen. Whether it's Ruto getting power again or him losing it, but those who are looking at Ruto's succession will start planning as early as 2027. With that election knocking, there is no denial that quite a number of people that Rigathi Gachagua will have an interest on how that is going to be run. So to ring fence and to push out Rigathi, that could be it, but that seems to have failed. The violence is a manifestation that Malala is not up to the task. That's my point where Ruto is supporting Malala. Thank you.